Oh, it's taking so long. It's got a look.
There we go. Hello, everybody.
Are we on there? It said it timed out. Are we live?
Yeah, it's live.
I don't know. I don't see anything yet.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, we must be live. Jack is online. He's saying hello.
He was on there way before, I think.
Jack, if you can hear us, send another message.
I think we're live.
We are live.
End stream. Hey, how's it going? Sorry, guys. Some technical difficulties. StreamYard kept saying, whoop, 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 whoop. My name is Rick. I'm also known as Ricks2Cents. Welcome to Shop Talk Live with my fellow co-host, Steve from Steve Makes Everything, and Roger from Roger Shop.
Howdy, howdy.
Steve's out there.
Yeah, so just to kind of let everyone know, we are going to be having a special guest. If anyone have heard of her, the Laser Girl. So she will be joining Laser Chick. Yes. She will be joining us later in a few. She's actually getting ready to pick up her son, so as soon as she gets home, she'll be on the way. Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. Once swimming with the grandson, now I'm living proof that fat does not render its fat does not render its sizes. Hello. Champaign, Illinois. Nice one, nice one. I'm actually in Oswego, Illinois.
And I'm in the Quad City area, Illinois.
I've been to Champaign, Illinois.
You're alive. Yes, Roger and I survived the tornadoes. There was actually a tornado that landed about a half mile from my house in downtown Oswego.
Hey.
But so Ireland, nice one, nice one. So thank you guys from Canada. Since all our guys are down in Texas helping everyone. Canada came down to give.
We've had no big storms. Well, actually, they had a big storm in Toronto yesterday that flooded like 3 4-lane highways were underwater. But we don't have too many big storms that are taking down power. So I guess our guys are looking for something to do.
Yeah. So
although in the middle of summer, I could think of a better place to go than Texas.
We don't normally help Texas, I told you earlier, because they're off the grid. But hey, we want to help the members. So if you're IBW, what's up, brothers? But yeah. So you guys got any questions? You guys any questions for us? Let us know. Let us know. That's what we're here for. But I got
answers. Bring those too.
Yeah.
I got something for you guys. I don't know if you guys ever. I mean, I'm not trying to get like a Baptist sermon or anything in here, but I don't know if you guys ever heard the term iron sharpens iron. You guys ever heard that term?
No.
There's a quote in the Bible that basically says iron sharpens iron, right? And that they're saying that not everyone will you choose to be critiqued by, or not everyone's opinion you value, right? If I tell you, Steve, you should do this, you take, what do they say? Take everything with a grain of salt, right? But there's certain people that are near and dear in your heart, your inner circle, when they say something to you, they can really shape you in a certain way, right? Because you're going to take what they tell you and really value their opinions, so to speak, right? So I would say I have about 4 or 5 people in my life that can have that impact on me, that would say something to me that would, make me to think. And a buddy of mine, his name is Juan Cuevas. He called me the other day and he said, "Hey Rick, can I ask you some questions?" And I said, "Sure." And I thought this was relative to what we talk about. Do you consider what you do a job, a career? What do you consider what you're doing right now? And I said, when I 26 years in the field, and I finally became a lineman. I finally became a general foreman. General foreman, for those who don't know, it's the highest position you can be in the union. I felt like I accomplished, right? And I felt like this is a job I could do the rest of my life. And I was really proud to do. I think linemen are kind of like the last Billy Badasses of the world. Like you can say, like you kind of have a cowboy job, right? And when I became a senior project manager, it's kind of like anyone could be a desk jockey, right? Anyone can go get a degree. Not everyone has balls enough to do the stuff that we used to do in the field, right? So it just kind of made me think. So that we're raised as men and even women, I'm just saying that, to go to work, to provide for your family, to do the things. What you're doing right now, do you consider that to be your end all, be all? This is what I want to do? Or is this side hustle, you know, the woodworking, laser engraving, 3D printing, is that something you aspire to do? Or is it just a reality of like, hey man, I got to provide for my family. I have a decent job that pays me a 6-figure salary. I have good benefits, you know, but I got a kid going to college, or I want a nice truck, or I just want to buy some nice shit. And if I spend it, my wife's going to complain or yell. So this is my side gig cash. So I was just kind of thinking like, what's really like, where are you in your life? Do you feel like what you're doing right now is something you want to do? Or are these hobbies, you know, an outlet to do something else? Or is it just a supplemental income?
See, I've always thought if you enjoy waking up in the morning, then you're in the right job, right? Like if you wake up and go, "This is fantastic! I get to work today," right? And I was like that for a long time, probably little over 30 years, and then the last 4 or 5 years, it was like, "This is terrible! I have to go to work today." So at one point, I just said, that's it. I'm going to go and do my own thing, and my boss actually wanted me to go to North Carolina for a meeting for a week, and I said, that's going to be a problem because I'm leaving. I'm done.
Wow.
And I have no regret. I mean, I took several orders of magnitude pay cut, but I enjoy waking up in the morning, and I get to meet lots of people, so it's much better than what I was doing for sure.
Well, I did
And like
42
you,
years.
I was a director, so
After 42 years, it was getting to be for me. I don't really want to do this anymore. And then my wife got to looking at how many pension credits I had, and she says, "Do you know you're actually going to work now for about 50 cents an hour?" I says, "Time to retire." So I did.
yeah.
Nice.
You have to get to the point where the money doesn't matter, right? Like yeah, I mean, you can earn a couple 100,000 a year, but if it's if you feel like it's sucking the life out of you, then it's not really what you want to do, right? So the money, by the time you spend, if you spend 20 years in a job like that, by the time you retire, you're dead. So all the money you made is pointless, right? It's just something your kids can get in the inheritance.
Yeah. I used to say that I didn't make a lot of money. I worked a lot of hours, right? I mean, we'd go on store and we'd make, $8,700, $7,400, $5,400 was nothing, but the thing is you can't predict emergencies, right?
Yeah.
I tell everyone, go get 3 jobs. You'll make the same as us, because you're working 110, 115 hours. So it wasn't like a 40-hour job. You're making that kind of money. But it definitely put a toll on me. But I paid my dues, pulled myself out of debt, put a ton of money in the bank. And then our economy kind of tanked. So the last, I'd say 3 years, I've been kind of pulling off my savings, to be honest with you. Aloha from Hawaii. How's it going? How's it going?
Clayton's back.
Yeah. So that's what I would ask even our audience, where are you at right now in your life? Are you seeking these hobbies as a hobby? Are you seeking these additional, what I say, secondary skill sets, right? Because your primary occupation is whatever your full-time gig is, and your secondary skill set, whether it be laser engraving, woodworking, 3D printing. Why are you doing this? That's what I'm asking you guys.
Yeah.
Why are you doing
What's the motivation, right?
Exactly.
Like, are you just doing it to vent from your day job, or are you using it to plan to move into that full time?
Right. I definitely get an outlet from doing woodworking.
Hey, Conrad's online.
Yeah. I'm in Oklahoma judging at a mead competition. What a mead!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mead,
like honey wine.
Or honey beer.
Okay. There's a huge company called Mead. It's a union company. That's what I thought it was. That was like a pole climbing competition or something.
We're talking about the adult beverage there, and some of them are really good, and some of them not so much. Depends on how it's made.
He's testing alcohol tonight.
Maybe that's not why he's like camera. He's like,
after about the 5th test, then everyone's a winner.
Modelo time, baby.
Modelo.
But yeah, I was just curious. I know a lot of people are doing this, and we're all at different levels. And I've said it a few times. I was surprised when I got an email from a lawyer, who was doing woodworking. And I guess sometimes it's not about money. You know, it's just about an outlet or something you enjoy to do. Or I think sometimes people are just building it up to a level. But everybody has different reasons. I like my job. Unfortunately, I was disabled due to a surgical mishap. That's what the doctor called it. Now I'm looking for something to do and start a small business. Nice. Yeah. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, like we all have different. Excuse me one second. My wife keeps calling. It's gonna text her. Let her know we're live.
Yeah. I originally started, well, my YouTube channel, but my business too, just because in my day job it was so tense. There was so much stress, and I just needed a creative outlet. I wasn't actually creating anymore, and I just started doing that, and it was like night and day. I would find myself, enjoying the end of my workday so I could go do something else.
And then I also we talk about equipment all the time when we say, people say, what's the right laser to buy? And we always say the first laser was the wrong laser, right? And then the first purchase was the wrong purchase, and then at what point does it become not a hobby anymore? Because now it's like, well, dude, you got $50,000 in equipment. That's not a hobby. You are now, whether you want to admit it or not, a business,
Yeah. And I actually find lately I've been like, this week I accomplished almost nothing because I was so busy trying to catch up on jobs that I had to do. And I was sitting on my deck this afternoon enjoying the end of the sunny day, and I thought, I have a job now again, and I have to take a break.
I've been wanting to create a lot of new content, and I have some ideas and things I want to do, but then I've been so slammed with my property, and all this rain is not helping, man. I don't have a remote control lawnmower.
I watched it out there. I watched it out there today. It was, I don't know, 80 plus degrees, and I thought, yeah, I'm enjoying that lawnmower now.
Yeah, and that first storm we got hit with destroyed a bunch of trees, and it took me a couple weeks to get rid of that. I have a tree I have 3 trees that are so big I can't move them. I'm going to try to sell them. Hey, if anyone's interested in buying some wood, when I mean wood, I mean like the base is like 5 feet tall by, I don't know, 35 feet long. Let me know.
What kind of tree?
Oak.
Oh, yeah, you're on your own.
Okay,
I would say if it was a good piece of wood, you could, call FedEx and have them ship it to me. But
what kind of oak? Red oak, white oak, bur oak?
I'd have to show you. I'll take some pictures and show it to you. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't generally use oak for anything. I hate oak. It's too grainy. It's too everywhere.
Yeah, it's when I first bought my house was one of the reasons I liked my house so much. It was so massive that it looked like a Disney cartoon like tree. Like it looked fake.
Yeah.
It just looked like.
Oh, they make fantastic trees, but
yeah,
they should just be left as trees, or either that or turn them into hardwood, like hardwood floors. Because that's all I think oak is good for. But I know people will argue with me.
Yeah, so we all have different reasons. Yeah, so if you don't mind, just drop that in there. Drop that in. Let me know what you guys' reasons. What made you guys get into your side hustle? Was it money? Was it an outlet? Are you building a business? Are you preparing for retirement? Are you just making a cookie jar with some extra cash in it so you can spend it? There's nothing wrong with that either. So y'all have different reasons.
Well, for me,
come on, people.
For me, all the stuff that we do here, whether aside from our greenhouse business, we've had that for years. But in 2019, when I retired, I just got a few things, and my grandson talked me into starting a YouTube channel because he wanted to do one, so we wanted to see how to do it. And I started doing some reviews on a few things, and then people started sending me things. Well, then people wanted to buy things, and it just snowballed from there. So
nice.
Over the last 5 years, it's turned into another full-time business, which we didn't really need, but the money is good.
Yeah, so I don't mean to put your business out there, but you had mentioned in a previous video that, you know, you're running literally a 6-figure business. So just so people know that, you know, you can scale a business to that level online. You know, you don't, a lot of times people say, you know, Amazon or a Google type business, you know, or any successful business, a lot of times they become successful because they're early on the type of business to do that. And I think you're in a space that there's definitely competition, but you're still very successful.
Yeah, the key thing is to have a good product, and if you can find a niche where, you know, do something that not everybody else is doing, then you'll really have it good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can be anywhere. I mean, I live in, you know, the backwoods of Eastern Canada, and most of my business is in other places. A lot in the US, a lot in Europe, some in Australia.
Since I joined a woodworking club a few years ago in 2021, got hooked.
Awesome.
I now own a small laser and a nice CNC, but I don't sell stuff. I make it for fun and give it away. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's just a creative outlet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's your creative outlet.
You know. Oh, Steve's
Thanks,
making it
Steven.
rain. Steve's making it rain.
Steven and I were exchanging email all week about some ideas. Get his business going.
Nice one.
I'm still working on the dartboard box too, Steven. I'm on the 3rd iteration now. Every time I get something, I decide I don't like it, and I go and design a new one. So
Well, that's cool. Well, we are on our 26th live, which seems like surreal, right? That we're that far.
6 months.
It's crazy. So our 30th live, so 4 lives from now, we're going to be doing a laser giveaway. So if you're not already a subscriber to each one of our channels, please do so, because that is the requirement. You know, actually, I'm not even showing that little banner normally we do. That is a requirement. To win that laser, you'll have to be a subscriber to each one of our channels. You'd have to like a video on each one of our channels, share a video on each one of our channels, and comment on at least one video on each one of our channels. So, and if you win, I'm going to check. So it'd suck if you didn't subscribe to one of us and you were selected, you don't win. So don't cheat, because it ain't worth it. I know a lot of people are watching this channel, and some people are preparing to get a laser because they want to hit the ground running. So this is a great opportunity. Maybe you could win some. So yeah, just putting it out there.
HVAC is back.
Yeah.
Hey.
There you go.
It's Clayton up to here.
I also want a laser engraving memorial plaque, and I bought one from a guy for $100, and I was like, I can make that, so I bought a laser for myself.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the motivation.
Yeah, nice one.
And the thing is, like I just made a plaque for a 65th wedding anniversary, and you know, you put a price on these things, and people go, well, I can make it for less. And yeah, if you got the will, go to it, right? But you'll appreciate at some point why that plaque in this case is $100, right? It's a lot of work, and you have to do it. You know, you have to figure out how to make money too, if it's your job, right? Because you have to buy groceries. And we all know the price of groceries these days. My
wife was upset because she had bought me that wood burning, you know, for the logo when you make your woodwork stuff.
Yeah, a stamp, like a brand.
2-3 weeks later, I got that MOPA laser. I was like, oh, I could have made that. And I was like, not trying to ruin her surprise. But I'm like, you know, how much did you pay for it? She's like, it was a couple $100. And I was like, oh,
they're expensive. They're expensive.
But then again, it's an $8,000 laser, right? So I mean, you know, you have to be compensated.
So go make brands for people. I've made a few actually for things like that, but it's you know, I don't like my goal isn't to make a whole pile of money, right? It's to actually enjoy what I do, and again have that creative outlet. So, you know, I keep telling my wife I could be a whole lot busier if I wanted to be, but I'd rather turn work away and relax a little bit rather than work 20-hour days again.
So I was looking to retire 4 years, but COVID changed that plan. But I've always said that I've been trying lasers when I retired. So time frame, move forward. Nice. Nice one. Yeah. So different reasons, and I would say no matter what type of laser we're talking, right? Whether we're talking CO2, diode, uh, fiber, like the practice what we preach, right? We always say is get a niche, right? Find a niche. Don't try to just be generic, do everything. If you find a niche, whatever that may be, you're going to be more successful in a niche.
Yep.
Not saying
You
one
can
particular.
you can specialize in making plaques. You can specialize in maps. I mean, dare I say coasters, keychains, but you just have to understand the market, right? So if you're doing
Right.
keychains, you're in high volume, right? You have to make a lot of them to make money. Same with coasters. But if you make plaques, one of the places I've seen where there's lots of lucrative business is plaques, memorial plaques for people's passed on animals. People will pay just crazy money to have a picture of like their dog engraved on a piece of stone or a tile or something. And it's just one of those things. And you don't want to take advantage of people, but they just want something, right? They want a memory. So
if you go to JDS.com, you look at JDS sells tons and tons of those type of blanks. Like they're insane. And the cool thing about them too is they actually go through the process of using, I would say, popular lasers, and they have somewhat of an idea or template to somewhere to tell you where to start. So JDS, I wouldn't say they're not always the cheapest, but you're not going to get any crap, right? Like when you buy stuff from other people, sometimes it's a gamble. Sometimes it's almost worth paying like $1 more for something, a blank, I'm saying, but when I'm saying $1 more, maybe you're buying a $25 or $30 blank in some of these plaques. So paying $1 more versus saving $1 could mean, every fifth one sucks, so they're a very reputable nationwide, shipper, receiver, so
I had to chuckle at Mickey's comment here. This is the slippery slope that I got onto too. It's like
I retired last August and bought a diode laser to play with. Now I own 4 diode lasers, 4 fiber lasers, a small CNC, 4 3D printers, but I haven't found my niche yet.
Sounds like your niche is owning hardware.
It sounds like you got a lot of money.
Not anymore.
You're enjoying retirement. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like you busted your ass and you joined retirement a little bit.
That's what retirement's for. Right?
Nothing wrong with that. I just created a new product, laser engraved, no soliciting video doorbell cover. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got see if I still it's still up here. I've shown this before, but
here she is, guys.
This is extremely popular.
Religious callers, do not knock. We will only disturb you. All right. Here you go. Let's add her to the stage. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
My apologies for being late. I had to take care of the kiddos.
No problem. We did a slight introduction saying that you were going to be joining us live. So would you mind introducing yourself? Oh, we lost her.
We lost her. Must have been something you said. Oh, there she is.
She's back. Sorry, we lost you there a second. Not sure what happened. We had done a slight introduction to who you are before you had joined us. But would you mind introducing yourself and kind of giving a background on what you're doing and what type of lasers you have, etc.?
Absolutely. My name's Nikki. Most people know me as the Laser Chick. So I started, like a lot of laser people, with a glow forge, and quickly learned that was not going to work for me. And so now I currently have a Mirror 990 watt. I have a 60 watt MOPA fiber laser. I have a 5 watt UV laser, and I have the X-Tool F1 and the F1 Ultra. I have the M1 Ultra as well. And I think that's all of my lasers. I just got the conveyor for the F1 Ultra today, so I'm kind of excited to try that one out. But and for those of you who don't know me, I do run a Facebook group for laser makers called Laser Logic. So If you don't know me from there, you probably see me in other groups as well.
You know, I said early on before we actually went live, I was talking to Steve and I told him he kind of Googled you and he said she doesn't have a whole lot of YouTube videos. And I said, no. And I said, that's kind of why I invited you. I think you're fairly well known on Facebook.
Yes.
But I think you're a hidden gem on YouTube.
And, you know, I get asked a lot about the YouTube videos, but, you know, I don't edit videos. Everything that I post is just like raw. Like, I don't go through and do a whole bunch of fancy stuff. And I really think that that's what my followers truly enjoy, is that, you know, I'm just that everyday normal person that, hey, she's doing what we're doing.
Right.
Yep. People like that.
Yeah. You know, what Roger has like a professional studio before he gets on, they do his makeup and all that, but not all of that. He's like, get out of the camera shot, about to go live.
They're holding big cue cards up behind the camera.
No,
there we go. There's in the shop with the bug eyes on.
Nice. We were saying too that like sometimes people don't realize that like the glamour shots, right? Like when we're doing these videos, like I was watching Roger's video the other day. He was like, I'm so hot because the fan's off, you know, but if I turn the fan on, the video sucks, you know. And people don't realize, you know, like I won't have my you know, the sucking, you know, cleaning my air cleaner, a couple things on, you know, that wouldn't normally have on a video, but you can't do that when you're making a video.
And I mean, like, I see you guys, y'all got like these fancy backgrounds going on, clean shops. I'm in a 10x16 shed with all of these lasers. So it is a constant mess. And I literally, last night, I was up all night doing a rush order for a customer. And so I have not slept since 4 a.m. yesterday morning.
Yikes. See, that's a job. I don't want that.
See, boy, what's also funny is that you say like it's only a shed, right? And you got to remember that some people are still starting out on their kitchen table, right?
Yes.
You know, they're still starting out on their porch. You know,
exactly. And well, I started
you know,
in a 8x10 building that was actually meant to be a dollhouse for my little girls. And because I work full time as well, so I have a full-time job on top of this.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, my fancy background is actually my studio. I just built it a few months ago, but I had to get out of my workshop. I'm running out of room for frivolous things like a video studio.
So are you by chance live on your social media as well right now? Or are you just
I am. I'm running live on my actual profile. I'm not doing it in my group because I couldn't, for some reason it wouldn't connect to both.
Okay. Nice one. People, so we're just a live questions and answers. So people, they post comments and we answer them. Most about lasers, engravers, and all different kinds, and CNCs and 3D printers, you name it. So people actually go crazy over animal merchandise, especially cat people.
Yeah.
Cat people are definitely
actually dog people. When it comes to plaques, dog people, man. Dogs are like true family members. Cats are antisocial, right?
My sister-in-law, and I hope she's not watching. She's that person that whenever you pull out pictures of your kids, she doesn't have kids, so she's got to like show you 42 photos of her dog. And you're like, it's a dog, dude. I get it. It's a dog.
I've done quite a few custom engraved leather dog collars over the last few years. It's just one of the things we've talked about before. You just got to be able to put up with laser engraving on leather because it's not the best odor.
No.
Yeah. As we've discussed, yeah, it's terrible.
So you have to say your name or what you want to be called. So people aren't calling you Chick, unless you want to be.
My name is Nikki,
Okay.
but I mean, it doesn't. Everybody just usually refers to me as the Laser Chick, so that's just what it's always been.
So Little Tree says Laser Chick has lots of money.
Oh, there you go. It's already paying off big because Steven subscribed to you. He'll watch all your videos. He's dedicated. He's been binge watching my videos over the last little while.
Oh wow!
I appreciate it, Steven.
See, now you're gonna make me have to go upload all my videos to YouTube because I have not done that. I do have the channel. I just don't. I always forget to go there. I'm the world's worst with that.
Here, so you already have a question. Laser Chick, did you buy all those lasers because you're in business a few years, or did you buy them because you want to scale your business?
So originally, like I said, I started with a Glowforge. This was more of a hobby style thing for me at first. I was pregnant with my last child when COVID hit, and we were sent home to telework. And I am ADHD as can be, so sitting at home was not working for me. And so I was on Facebook, seen a Glowforge pop up. I was like, oh, that's great. That looks cool. I think I'll buy that. So after I convinced my husband to spend the like $8,000 on what now is a paperweight for me, then it just kind of expanded really fast. Like I didn't expect it. And I actually did not push product. I created files. I'm a graphic designer by trade. And so I started out creating files, and then I started joining other Facebook groups and things like that. And I started seeing just like, I couldn't tell you how many groups I got kicked out of just for sharing information or something like that. And I was like, like this is crazy. So like my goal then became to build my own community here where everybody had an opportunity. It's not about me selling or you selling or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable with themselves within the community.
God forbid you actually share something online, right?
I mean, it's awful. Like I was in groups trying to teach people how to, use ImageR to put, turn photos into laser engravable photos. And I literally got booted from the group for telling somebody to use ImageR. And I was like, really? Like, is this not public knowledge? Like, but apparently, that person who ran the group charged people to turn photos for them. And I'm like, but that's crazy. And I have a different perspective, but as far as my lasers go, I did buy them. Now X-Tool X-Tool did send me the 3 X-Tool machines that I have. They asked me to beta test them. I do a lot of vendor events because when I design things, I end up with products that just pile up around here. And since I'm not a big product pusher, I have to go do vending events to get rid of them because my husband's construction trailer's full of them. So I did buy my machines. And if you see me advocating for a brand, it's because I truly believe in that brand. If I don't like it, you're going to know that I don't like it. I do like the F1 and the F1 Ultra for its portability, but when I'm in my shop, there is no way that I'm going to go turn that thing on just to do something when I have my fiber here. Or, another machine that could do it in seconds compares to minutes.
Right.
I mean, it's just
there's
not
a rhyme
logical.
and a rhythm why you'd use something for sure. And footprint is definitely a big thing, right?
Yes.
Especially at events. So the convenience and speed, it doesn't always,
Yeah. So, but I utilize the portable machines very often in my vending events, and customers love it. It draws a lot of attention in. So for that alone, it's been very helpful drawing people in because, they get to interact with it, and my kids get to sit there and they let the customers push the buttons and, things like that to start the laser. And so you get a lot of kids wanting, I'll make like the little wooden knives or Christmas ornaments, things like that, keychains that people want customized, and they can do it right there.
The ooh and ahs, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Creating this crowd around you.
The F1's a good laser
for.
The F1's a good laser for those portable things, right? It just take it to an event. If you got an F1 and a fume extractor, you can do all kinds of things.
Well, one thing and I have the fume extractor, and I'll be honest, it's still sitting in a box on my front porch because I don't do a lot of, I'll engrave like small wood tags or something on site, but I do mostly customized metal stuff on site. It's just easier, and I don't have to worry about hauling the fume extractor around. And I don't bring a generator. I have one of those Ego power systems that run on the Ego batteries. And so I bought the 3,000 watt, and I did some reviews on that in my group as well. That and I can run, and I tested it when I first bought it. I ran my 60 watt fiber and my hat press on it for 13 hours before the set of batteries went dead.
Nice.
That's impressive.
And which I bought an extra set of batteries as well. So if I have a multiple day event where I don't have power to charge it, I do have extra batteries.
That's impressive. I've seen them all over Facebook advertising. And I was always kind of, that's impressive.
And a lot of people are going with the I think it's the Jackery. It's like
Heard
a
of that.
1,000 watt, and I guess if you're just running the F1, basically that's it, and you're only turning it on when you're using it. But I power my laptop and everything off of mine. We also put fans in my booth because when we did an event back in the beginning of June that I swore I'd never do another summer event in Georgia ever again.
So they're asking where you're from because they're saying you're southern.
I am from Georgia. I'm from Middle Georgia. So yes, and I was born and raised here. I did travel. I'm prior military, so I traveled quite a bit. I've been to Japan, Germany, Korea. I was stationed in Hawaii for 4 years, which was beautiful, but it's very expensive. So
Right.
Yeah.
Nice one. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So Roger and I are in Illinois, and Steve is in Canada.
East Coast. Yeah. 2 miles from the Atlantic Ocean.
So we have a unique fan base that's global. So we have Hawaii, UK, Australia, United States, Canada,
Ireland tonight.
Ireland. Yeah. So
And Belgium.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
growing. So I think collectively our group is like over 200,000 subscribers.
Oh wow.
So so it's been good. I've actually been taking our videos and doing the 5 top key points and posting those, and they actually link back to the long videos. So I think it's kind of spreading the word of our lives, and they've been growing. And I think too the interaction with the crowd. People are quiet; they don't want to talk. It was wild when we first did the lives. It'd be like 100 people in the live, and no one would say anything.
Yeah.
And then you gotta interact with them, get them to talk. That's the whole idea of the live. So it's really cool. Yeah. So it's just been growing. This is our 26th live.
Oh wow.
So very cool. So on our 30th live, we're actually doing a laser giveaway, and it's our second laser giveaway. Roger's already given a laser. So
Clayton is our token Hawaiian tonight.
yes. And we normally have a mediator who will bounce someone out the chats if they get crazy, or he's behind the scenes guy, so to speak. But he's away on
He's drinking mead for the next 3 days.
he's a judge. He's a judge. So but yeah, so he's very nice. Conrad, we call him the man behind the scenes. When we don't have a guest, he normally joins, but otherwise he will take a back seat, and he doesn't have a problem with that. So he's a pretty good guy.
So, you said you're from Illinois. Did y'all go to LBX last year?
Nope.
No. So I actually got invited, and then some shit came up, and I didn't come. And then they just sent me a thing saying that Lightburn just came out with a new version. It was a couple days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then if you have that invite, you get a discount, I guess, on the new Lightburn that's out. And then asking if we want to come. There's another one coming, so I'll definitely go to this one.
Yeah, so I think the one in 2025 is in New York. I'm a very southern person, and city is not my thing. I went to Peoria, Illinois, and I like to have died there.
Yeah.
And a lot of mine was my husband was supposed to go with me to Peoria, and he ended up getting called away to work, and we didn't buy tickets. We didn't buy plane tickets. We were driving because I don't like to fly. And I ended up having to drive by myself from Georgia to Peoria, Illinois. And I was doing
the drive.
It was 14 hours. And I drove straight there, did not stop. And I did really well until I got to like the Deliverance part of Illinois, where there's nothing but cornfields and international harvesters. And I was like, I'm from the South, but the cell phone service didn't work. There was no warning that there was nothing in the next 800 miles, it seemed. And I was like, oh, Lord, don't let me run out of gas. Don't let my car break down, And then when I got to LBX, I unfortunately contracted the flu and pretty much stayed in bed the entire weekend while I was there.
Oh, man.
So I missed a lot. But I did didn't intermingle much because I didn't want to get anybody sick. So it was like if I came out, I went out and done my thing. And
I
then,
watched the lives at least.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I did an interview with Laser Everything at one point, and but I was just like, it hadn't hit me until later on. But on the ride home, it hit me bad, and I think I stayed sick for like 2 weeks after I got home. It was horrible.
Yeah, I was just upset. It's really literally in our backyard, and I didn't go. I was like,
Well,
so.
and I'll be honest. Like, I think that it was a great event, but I think that people portrayed it more as we wanted to go learn light burn, and because here it is, it's a light burn convention, and we even told them this back on the feedback from us, and it was just there really wasn't anything teaching us light burn. It was speakers speaking about their experience and how their businesses work, and that's great, but I felt like you have a light burn convention, you might need to teach light burn.
So Steve is a software design background. So
Tech
he always
nerd through and through, yeah.
He always says, "What do you say? It was designed by software."
Lightburn. Yeah, you can tell Lightburn was designed by software engineers for other engineers, right? It's,
Yes.
So, I mean, this kind of leads me into a good question. Since you've used a lot of the Xtool products, where do you think the future for Lightburn is now that XCS is taking off like crazy?
So, and I actually had this conversation with somebody the other day. I like XCS. I do. And because it's growing its features as well as, just catching up with Lightburn, basically. The only thing that I see could be a problem is Xtool going to actually release that to be a universal software for use for other lasers?
Wow. Yeah, I've asked them that, and they were very coy on an answer.
Yeah, so
I have a feeling the answer is no.
Yeah, and see, if they don't, then it's not going to go any further than Xtool users.
Well,
but
keep in mind, Xtool has 38% of the market. Right?
They do, but Lightburn is universal, so it doesn't limit you to what brand of laser you have to have.
But the problem with Lightburn is it's universal if you're running, your standard 20-watt open frame laser, right? Yes. When you look at so it basically right now, and the frustration Xtool had with Lightburn is it's holding back innovation, right? So Lightburn added a whole bunch of new features to, particularly the S1 was where a lot of things came out, and Lightburn wouldn't support them or couldn't support them. So that's what really drove them to amp up the XCS stuff, because they wanted to highlight those features like multi-point focus, so you can laser engrave across a curved surface with a standard diode laser. And I think there's more and more of that. Like if you look at WeCreate, what they're up to, and some of the others, I think Lightburn could be in trouble if they don't do something.
So hello from Australia. I'm live. Haven't been bit by a spider or snake yet. My wife hit a cow on the way to work though. Like a rough morning. So
before we laugh at your wife hitting a cow, hopefully she's okay.
Yes. Hopefully a better day, better days.
And if you're ever in India, by golly, don't hit a cow. Those are sacred over there. In fact, traffic will come to a complete standstill if there's a cow walking around the road.
So yeah, the last time I was in India, my driver, because I would never drive in India.
Oh no, me either.
He was driving through the middle of Bangalore, and we were booting along pretty well, and all of a sudden he locked up the brakes hard, and in the middle of the city, like 3 cows ran across the road, and it's like, can't hit the cows.
So Laser Chick, I just checked out your Facebook group. Do you really have that much product? That must have taken forever to create.
So I'm assuming you looked at the videos of my booth setup. So yes, I have that much product. Yes, it took forever to create because I did not always have, I did not always have the larger laser and the fibers and all of that. Like I said, I did a lot with the Glowforge, and now that I know what I know about it, I probably would not have done it again, but I don't necessarily regret it either. So I probably would have went more on the Thunder or even a Mirror 5 if starting out, had I known what I know now.
We always
But
say your first laser is the wrong laser. The second one is your
yes.
right.
And I mean, like I said, I learned real quickly that and when I first got the Glowforge, I was like, oh, this is cool. It doesn't take that long to do things. It's, all of that. And then when I got the Mirror 9 and I got it up and going, and I was like, you mean I've been engraving this picture for 3 hours on the Glowforge and it takes me 20 minutes on this thing? So, I mean, and I still have my Glowforge. It still works. My husband daily tries to convince me to sell it, and I think my pride just won't let me. It's just like a trophy to me at this point. So, but yeah, and my Facebook group is Laser Logic. I seen my ass, so I have a business page that's the Laser Chick, and then I have my personal page that's the Laser Chick without a space in it, and then I have Laser Logic, which is my Facebook group for laser makers.
See, we're getting complaints about your background.
The Canadian Rockies. How can you be so harsh? It's not always a beach.
Steve.
It reflects my mood.
They're coming in like this. The beach.
I'll have a beach next week.
Well, I'll definitely have a beach next week because I'll be right next to one in Mexico.
You'll be on the real beach, yeah.
Yeah.
So one of our very first lives, I think it was the second live, Roger actually joined us live in Mexico, and he made a point to say that and I don't mean, I'll let you complete it, but he made a point to say that, some of these vacations he's doing, the things he's doing are capable. He's able to do them because of this type of side hustle. Right? You want to touch on that?
Yeah, we have a pretty good income from of course, we have our greenhouses. That's a great income there, and my retirement as well. But all these other things I do with the laser products and the 3D printed products and things with heat presses and sublimation, it pays for all these vacations in Mexico.
So that's your motivation.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the wintertime when I know it's, below 0 Fahrenheit here, and I'm sitting in the sand with my feet in the water and a beer in my hand. I ought to write a song about that.
Yeah, I wrote a song and I had 2.2 million views. There you go. You might make a song and you'll do too. That was very surprising to me on that. So both Roger and Steve have X tools. I think you're correct.
I have. Well, I don't actually have any X tools in my current possession. I have a few that are on loan because you get so many that you just don't have a place to store them. So there's lots of people who are eager to quote unquote borrow a laser for an extended period of time.
Well, I have the S1 and I have a D1 and I have another D1 with the extension kit on it.
So I do not have the X.
My D1 Pro is with the extension kits hanging on the wall. It's just I don't have space for it. It's so big.
Well, my big one with that, what I did with that longer Ray 5, putting that double kit on it with an 800 millimeter square work area, that hangs on the wall. There's no place to lay that down unless I'm using it.
CX tool, you gotta send me something. What the heck, man? Only one group don't have one.
And right now I have the We Create with the conveyor because I'm working on a video for it, and the conveyor can stretch out to like 147 inches or something. It's just like I have to put this thing on the floor if I'm going to assemble all these extension pieces.
I'm gonna show you because this box for the Ultra conveyor came in today.
Yep.
And
it's a nice. Their conveyor is really nice.
Huge.
It's not that big. Like inside the box though, it's not that big.
I'm like, how does this thing even fit inside the Ultra? Like, how does this thing work?
So it actually goes in there with like 4 screws.
I know. And so I'm looking at my shop, as you can see, complete disaster, no space anywhere.
Everyone's shop is that way.
I'm like,
you see a very small corner in my area.
Yeah. I'm going to have to move my laptop, and I'm going to have to figure out where to set the Ultra up so I can try the conveyor, because I'm super excited about it because I do a lot of jewelry. And so I do a lot of wholesale jewelry. So if I can do production work on it and it work functionality like that, because of course we've all seen the videos, we've all seen that, but until you actually use it yourself, it's still a different. You don't have faith in it until you use it.
I think they have one of the best implementations of a conveyor, but it's a very finite use case. Like you have to be making volume, and like, I mean, I make my business cards on the Ultra now, and it works really well, but that's I mean that's a once a year job, right? So I don't sell volume, right? I know I don't sell in craft fairs or any of that kind of stuff. I do custom work only. So
yeah.
We had asked our live, what's one of the number one things that you purchase for your laser that you don't use? And the number one was
Cameras.
rotary
cameras.
arm, cameras, rotary arms, and the table. And then cameras were mentioned too. And the number one reason the rotary arm and the table were the intimidation, right? They were just like, it's too much to set up. It's too, like, they had this. You can't go on Facebook without seeing tumblers, right? I mean, it's just whether it's sublimation or laser or I mean, just insane. So
granted, there's a lot of tumblers out there, right? Like I look in my cupboard. I don't work out, obviously, but we still have like a couple of dozen of these metal tumblers in the cupboard. So
right.
You know, it's not like coasters, right? You have 4 coasters and your house is happy, right? But people are always buying tumblers.
Yeah, the market for it is not going away by any means. My granddaughter does. I know she does a couple hundred a month, and when I buy them, I buy 4 or 5 cases at a time. Of course, I don't go to craft fairs. I supply different shops, and then I kind of wholesale to them, and then they do the retail thing. But the demand is there, and I'm starting to. When we get back from our Mexico trip, I'll be cranking out a whole bunch of tumblers with Halloween themes on them for one of the local shops here.
Yeah. So speaking of Halloween, I made those Halloween jack-o'-lanterns or Halloween lanterns, whatever you want to call them. And you walked in Home Depot and it's already Halloween. So I said, okay. Last year I did it like the month of. It was like 2 weeks, and I posted, I don't know, 35 of them, and they sold in 2 days. And I was like, what? I only made them for the video. I didn't expect them to be like. And then when I sold all I had, somebody sent me a message, hey, I'll take 50. I'm like, 50? Halloween's tomorrow. They're like, I don't have time. They're like, so I ended up selling them, not painted. And at the Halloween party, they painted them, which was kind of cool, I guess. You know, but
I mean, now it is kind of neat. I actually have a file. One of my very first files I created for lasers are for the jack-o'-lantern boxes. So I did those as well. And I sold a ton of them at my vendor events, but the vendor event selling has to be timed perfectly for stuff like that, seasonal items.
So me, I just post things like that, seasonal items on Facebook, and I think I have a good network of people. I don't even have to I can just post it on my personal page, and I got enough people following me that it's like gone, you know. So I think this year my goal is to sell 150. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But my goal is to sell 150. I'm actually going to start this weekend and see what happens.
Yeah, and sometimes you can sell things by accident. I posted a video this morning on making a custom letter cut sign on laser, and somebody wanted to buy the sign. And I said, well, I'll make you one. You can't have this one because I've already put it up. But
so did you see my post actually on the video of you when you made that sign? I actually liked it. Pretty cool. I liked it.
Here it is.
Yeah. I thought it was badass.
Nice.
Yeah. And I, had no intentions of selling that, but right off somebody, how much make me one of them for? I said, I don't know, 150 and shipping.
He didn't show you the last part, but there's another part that hangs that says close optional.
Yeah. The other part that can hang on, it says close optional be on this point. Yeah. It is fully enclosed all the way around now. So if you wanted to do that, you can.
Nikki, your channel's Laser Logic, right? Your Facebook group?
Yes, it is.
Clayton's asking.
Do you want to just post what the actual name is in the comments, and then I'll share it on here?
Yes.
Do you entertain software XCS questions? I can't figure out how to round the corners of a rectangle. I've been using a wide. I used to be able to, and now I can't figure it out. I have the latest version.
Yeah.
How to round corners of a rectangle.
I-
So
you
I've
can-
actually
can do
did
it.
that, but I would
Me
have
too.
to go into the software to I don't have it memorized.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think I have XCS on this machine.
I think I
The clack is in
Hey,
the building.
Clack is here.
Knocked out 28 tumblers for a business customer tonight. So exactly. So
Yep.
I do have two. I have two of them. Yeah. This guy. Yeah. And this one.
Yeah, I would make a lot of tumblers for corporate customers too. It's just you set it up once and then you can just pump them out, right? You don't have
So
to.
that's where the
reset every
money
time.
is with
Yeah.
tumblers. And
Yeah,
I
it's
keep
fun,
telling
right?
people these onesies and twosies are not making you money.
Nope.
I did not too long ago. I did some just 20-ounce polar camel tumblers. We did 408 of them, I believe. And it was Nurses Week at the hospital, so all of them had the logo for the hospital, Nurses Week 2024 on them. Super simple engraved. My husband and I pumped them out on our Mirror 9 in 13 hours.
Nice.
408 tumblers.
Wow, it's moving
Okay,
on.
okay. So be honest. How many mess ups?
None. So I use a Pyburn grip rotary on my Mirror 9, which I absolutely love. I've never had any issues with it. I don't have slippage problems. I don't use a roller rotary. I do have the P4 Pyburn roller rotary, but I have never used it.
Only the chuck. Yeah, so business cards. Well, you can make them out of paper. I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well print them. But I use metal engraved business cards because it's an engraving business, right? And but be warned, I use the 0.8 millimeter ones, so they're pretty sturdy. But they are the most expensive business cards you could ever buy.
The cheap ones will do this.
Well, even the cheap ones are still expensive compared to like a regular paper business card.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot thicker.
Yeah.
I was cutting. So I cut actually a 0.0 millimeter card with the F1 Ultra.
Yes.
I was kind of shocked, given that it's only a 20-watt fiber. But
so back to the rounded corners in the rectangle. Daryl Aspen actually just commented on my live on my page and said to round the corners, insert your rectangle object. Then on the top toolbar, which includes the measurements and location, the furthest box to the right is the corner radius. Enter a number there in millimeters. The higher the number, the larger the rounded corners.
Asking shall receive. How you like that one?
So
there you go.
Thank you, Daryl, for answering that question, because I am not as proficient with XCS as I probably should be at this point. But
it's one of those things. If you don't use it every day, you're gonna forget things, right?
Like I said, like I have industrial size lasers in the shop, so I don't just pull out the portable ones to utilize when I'm making things in the shop.
Well, if you're making 480 tumblers, you're probably not going to use an F1. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So I think we'll all have input on this comment, but it says looking for practice and to learn. So while big orders would be great, I'm not ready and comfortable committing to a lot of orders. I would say that if you try buying blanks and you make blanks of something, there's going to be something that just clicks. There's always going to be something you need to work on. There's always going to be something you're going to do better on. But there's going to be one particular thing that just clicks, and whatever that may be, start with that. Right, and then just grow your skills.
Yeah, you can jump into the business orders later, right? Like I did quite a few one-off watch bands, and the last watch band order I did for a company was 600. So it just scales up, right? People see what you do, and you post everything on Instagram. Now I'm the worst person on the planet for posting things on Instagram, but if you post things somewhere in social media, people will attach to it.
So what I like to tell everybody is with anything, you got to spend money to make money. I mean, bottom line, when you buy material, you better buy enough. So if you screw it up, you still have material left to complete what you need to complete after you figure it out.
Absolutely.
Because there is no right or wrong. I can have the exact same lasers as you guys have, and your settings can be completely different.
Yeah. That's a common question we get on this channel is
Yes.
what are my settings for this? It's
And
like, well, okay, what laser, what power, what day of the week is it, or the tide's high? Like, it's just crazy, right? You just have to run material tests and get to know your laser.
So and I'll tell you, I'm the worst. I don't run material tests. I am that one that goes in there and I push buttons until I figure it out.
I do that too.
So we had said that Steve and Roger both as well. They're in their videos. They were very common to share their settings, right? And say, hey, I made this as the setting. But a lot of times when I make these challenge coins or something metal, I won't share them. And I won't share them because I don't want someone to take my settings and think they can create it, because there's so like, forget the laser. Where'd you buy your blank from? Like,
yeah,
you can't. I can't tell you. You know what I mean? Like 256 passes. There's no way you'd have. There's when it comes to metal, like, oh my god. Oh, I'm not. Well, even wood would be the same, but I'm just saying like that is like an extreme.
Yeah, well, fiber lasers especially, right? And like challenge coins are always a thing, right? It's like, are you buying real brass, or are you buying brass plated zinc coins, or like the copper ones they're always brass in the middle, right? They're only electroplated copper. So you scrape the copper off and all of a sudden the thing turns black on you, right? Because it's some cheap coin.
And I learned that quickly. So I recently did my first coin. And the coins are not my thing. Okay. I don't have the patience for that. I like to see results too quickly. And J Mac with Big Scary Laser actually worked with me and helped me learn how to do the coins. Yes. See, that's beautiful. But then you have to polish it. Then you have to do all this to it. And if I was making one specifically for an award for somebody, that would be different if it was just a specific custom order. But just to make a production coin line, there's no way for me. Like, it's too time consuming.
Yeah, you're generally looking at an hour or so for a coin. So
I don't have it yet, but someone told me that Rolex. So I guess the owner of Rolex's daughter invented a polisher, and it is like phenomenal for challenge coins. So I'm actually going to reach out to them and talk to them. A couple people have been telling me.
Is it the one that uses pins?
It's this weird, like it spins, and you're able to look down and see.
Yeah, it uses basically little snipped off pieces of either stainless steel or tungsten wire. And because they work really well.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to reach out to them, and I took some when I got the fiber laser. I took a course with Chance. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He does. There's two people I would say that are really, really known in the fiber industry that do courses and kind of give you crash burn courses. And Chance is one of them. And I forget the other gentleman's name, but he's known for his glory to fame is creating colors on metal, which everyone who you talk to about it will say that you can't be duplicated.
Well, mobile lasers are not bad for reproducing color.
Right.
But diode lasers, they keep selling diode lasers like they do color, and they do some color, but it's not going to be the same color all the time.
No, and it's not consistent.
No, not even on the same piece.
Right.
So I do a lot of color engravings with my fiber. My MOPA fiber is by far probably my favorite machine in the shop. And I love the fact that I can add color without, I'm not an artsy person. So when it requires paint or hand coloring of any sorts, that's probably not going to happen with me. So the fact that I can use my laser to do that is my favorite part of it.
Yeah, you won't get 16 million colors, but you usually get enough primary colors to do what you need to do.
Yes.
So Chance Lawson, that's his name. If you actually want on Facebook, YouTube, I mean anywhere, he is probably if you're gonna buy a fiber laser, and he does others, but I would say special fiber lasers, and you want to hit the ground running, that's your man. The stuff he
I
does
know
is insane.
Chance, as well as, like I said, Jay Mack with Big Scary Laser. He's another one that is an amazing instructor.
Yep.
I think him and Chance work together as well in a lot of aspects. And then Victor does the color stuff, and I'm not even going to try to butcher his last name. So
Yeah. That's why I said I couldn't. That's why I said. But to me, Chance was. I tell Chance he's like the unknown Michael Jordan, right? Because I think in the industry he's extremely well known, but to noobs, like, he's very opinionated on certain things. When people ask questions on Facebook, he's like, "That's the answer."
yes.
You know what I mean? And people are like, well, "Why?" Blah blah. He's like, "I told you the answer." You know what I mean?
And that's it.
And
That's all you're
You know
getting.
what I mean? I'm busy. I'm on to the next comment. You know what I mean? And people are like, "Well, who the hell's this guy?" You know, and it's
Right?
if you're not in the industry, you don't know him, but he if you are in the industry, you know him. But unfortunately, you don't want to be known by the people who are in the industry. You want to be known by people who are not in the industry because you want to teach them how to grow.
Exactly. So the comment here that's about a scalable business model for a fiber, me personally, I went with the 60-watt MOPA fiber because the versatility with it, it's got enough power to do what you want. I can do production items. Like I said, however, I do not technically like doing challenge coins. It can do them, and it does them great. But I think that if you were going to do challenge coins, you might want to up the wattage a little more. And I'm not sure what you use, Rick, on that.
So my idea on a laser, fiber laser, I would say, if you're doing laser etching or engraving, I should say, like you're removing a color on a bottle opener, you know, because they're ionized, and you want to do something like that, then a 30 watt is fine. You don't need a 60 watt. You know, a 60 watt laser is because you're removing material. A 30 watt laser is removing the paint. Now, can a 30 watt create this? Absolutely. You know, I made my first challenge coin in Marine. I can go grab it on the 30 watt. And just because you have a 30 watt to a 60 watt, we just talked about this, I think, last week, doesn't mean it's going to do it twice as fast. So I would say just kind of think about what you're actually going to be creating. And obviously from a 30 watt to a 60 watts, a drastic difference in price. So, you know, if you and you're not going to own one. Owning one is owning none, right? So if owning a 30 watt and owning a 60 watt is 8 months to a year down the road, then just jump in and get the 30 watt and get started, and then make money and then buy a 60 watt. That's my opinion. 3,000 to 8,000. There's a big difference, right? So if there's not a real concern, you have the money, you just buy the 60 watt. But
I think that was when I went to looking for fibers, that was my thing, was I could pay $3,000 for a 30 watt or $4,500 for a 60 watt.
Right.
And at that point, when I was researching, everybody was like, "Oh, you know, the only difference is the MOPA can do color and this and that and the other." And my husband, of course, was like, "Well, do we really want to spend this extra money just because we do color or whatever?" And I was like, "Well, if I don't get it and now, I might regret it later, because I get that FOMO thing going on ever since I bought the Glowforge. So now I'm like, go big or go home, right?"
Yeah. Yeah. So I have both the 30 watt is the one on my left, and the 60 watt is the one on my right. So, and the 60 watts a MOPA and the 30 watts not. And then the 60 watts, the OMG laser. Or as Daniel would say, "Oh my God." And yeah, but that was funny when that came up.
So
But
all
yeah,
of my Galvo style lasers are Haitian lasers. I love Pascal. I love the customer service.
Yeah.
Pricing.
30 watt Pascal's laser, JTP laser.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Pascal is great. We've shared his info time and time again on these lives. But or I tell people obviously they can email me and I give them. Actually, one of from our last live, someone's actually buying. I need to reach out to Pascal. He said he's going to be buying a laser from him. So very cool. So we talked again too about what's the difference between ordering a laser directly from the manufacturer, which is a U.S. rebranded, versus origin factory direct overseas. And my biggest input was that if you're buying a factory direct from overseas, make sure you're actually buying a factory direct from overseas, right?
Yeah.
Not someone who lives overseas and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm making them."
Yeah, because there's a whole and there are so many out there. As I started to grow in the community, I started getting so many messages from laser manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think I posted some text message the other day with some.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you see this? Like,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
all of us got the same text.
So we said, okay, it's a small niche, right? Everybody kind of knows everybody, right? I can reach out. And that's why we don't bash anybody. That's why egos don't get bigger than each other. But we all know each other. But when certain industries, like she said, hey, they must have sold the list, because she went on Facebook and like screenshotted this text message, and I was like, I just got the same text message. So it's like, like I've never physically met her.
Yeah.
So how does my number and her number end up in the same person's,
I mean, and it's like duplicate. Like, it's like she sent out this mass text. If it's even a she, I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
It was Jenny in my book. That's all I knew. And I was really hoping that everybody would text her and blow her up. And, I just get fed up with things sometimes. I'm like, I don't typically like try to blast people, but like, come on, like you just text me some random stuff and a picture of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
picture.
Yeah.
So I replied back, I'm sorry, did I meet you in a previous film? She said, what do you mean? I said, my name's Ron Jeremy. And I texted her a picture of Ron Jeremy, and I was so mad because I went to go to the text message screenshot it back and send it in that post. I was like, I deleted it. She didn't reply after that. But Halloween
it's funny because I almost think she's on my Facebook page because she like blocked me. I couldn't reply to her after I posted that. I got blocked.
Yeah. So Halloween is around the corner. Do you guys have any upcoming projects or suggestions for anyone out there? Anything they can make money other than lanterns, because we already obviously talked about that.
So earrings, Halloween earrings are a big thing. I sell a ton of them. They're easy to make. You can be productive with those. Large profits on those. Profits on earrings.
And people probably lose them after Halloween, so you get to sell them a new pair next year.
So
I could see Roger wearing some like skeletons.
Yeah.
You got your ears pierced, Roger?
No, I do not.
I told my mom when I was in 4th grade I wanted my ears pierced, and she said, as long as you wear a dress, you can have it. So I never got them pierced.
Well, my wife has joked a little bit about it. Well, man, we ought to get your ears pierced. Now, mind you, I'm 67, so I'm a little old for that. She said, then if you shave the rest of your head, you look just like Mr. Clean.
Got to get the gold hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, earrings are one thing. Like if you buy a CO2 laser and you want to make acrylic earrings, you can buy like a sheet of acrylic and pay for your laser with just
exactly. And you can buy patterned acrylic, so there's no work to it whatsoever. You're just cutting out a shape. And I don't do a lot of acrylic. I can't. That's one thing I can't stand the smell of acrylic. I do cut it occasionally, but it's not. It's not my favorite thing to work with.
But didn't you say you cut leather?
So I do cut leather.
That's way worse than acrylic.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bother me like the acrylic does.
Oh,
yeah, no, I'm all externally vented.
Yeah, I mean, I have all of my vents ran and everything like that. I just
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
no.
I think acrylic terrifies me too because I had several friends of mine like they've caught their lasers on fire with acrylic. They've
Wow.
Yeah.
like
Acrylic.
one of
doesn't
them like she
really
was
burn.
cutting acrylic and literally burnt her entire Mirror 9 up. And well
Wow.
she rebuilt the whole thing. So, but as far as other Halloween products, like you were saying, Rick, I mean tumblers. There are mass amounts of different color based tumblers coming out now. You've
Yeah.
got the chroma bases. I've seen
Yes.
some orange ones. I've seen some purple ones. Those are going to be really, really popular during Halloween. So if you haven't already prepared yourself to purchase some, I would get on it because they will not be there.
I
when
get
you think you're gonna-
distributors that email me daily. Hey Rick, we'll send you 100 of these. They want to send me a box, and I'm like, man, I haven't tried the stupid. I don't even know what the hell it's called. What is it called? The thing that holds the tumblers.
Rotary.
Rotary. I haven't tried the rotary yet. So if I take a box of these, you're gonna want me to use it. I need to dial in my rotary first. So I'm gonna put my feet to the fire and say, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try the rotary, and if I get it dialed in, and you have one of these two lasers, at least then I could say my settings were this, or this was my left.
Well,
I would honestly like what I really, really want to do, man, and maybe this is the Mexican in me. I want to make nameplates, but I think that's 100 watt laser I need to do those fast.
Nameplates. Like brass plates, you mean?
Gold.
Oh,
Like,
gold.
so they're like hanging like this, but it's their name. You could.
Oh
use
yes.
I
Like you want
actually-
to cut them out.
I actually did that with 0.8 millimeter brass on my 60 watt. And I cut out brass earrings and things like that as well. So if you guys, I post a lot of my videos on TikTok, and they're not all like, let me sell you something. It's stuff that I make with my lasers. Like I don't sell stuff on TikTok. I can't, I could, that's horrible.
I post a lot on TikTok. I don't post on Instagram. Matter of fact, I didn't even know that my personal Facebook page was tied to Instagram. And it was like me and my son, like in the pool. I was like drinking. I was like, oh shit. I didn't know this was on there. Delete. You know what I mean?
So earrings sell really well online and at craft fairs. At craft shows, earrings, keychains, smaller items are my biggest sellers. Because for some reason I can sell a $30 pair of earrings before I sell a $30 door sign. Because people can stick it in their pocket. It's not heavy to carry around. They can take it with them.
Well, it's a good impulse item too, right?
But you tell them, here's your sign.
Yes. And as far as online, the biggest thing I will tell you about online earring sales is if you do custom painted earrings or you do any kind of wood earrings, make sure that you list that the colors and the wood grains and things can be variable based on product. Because
would you say that they only sell live? Would you say they only sell live? I'm sorry. Would you say they only sell online or craft fairs the most, or you think they're kind of like both able to push the product?
I think both. I don't think it's one or the other. Craft shows, unless you're doing it full time year round, and most people that are doing craft shows full time year round don't sell online because they don't have time. So I think most people either do one or the other. I'm stubborn and I try to do both, but
Right. And I would say this. I told my wife early on, like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else. It's not what you like. It's what the customer likes, right?
That's right.
So if you're a guy and you're like, dude, I'm not going to make earrings. If it sells, who cares? You know what I mean? If it sells, who cares? Yesterday
I make lots of things I just can't stand, but it's what the customer wanted, right? It's like,
I mean,
exactly. Now, if I could make a nameplate, I might have me a nameplate. I'm saying that, but I
tell customers all the time they'll want cuss words or something. With like, well, we don't want it to be offensive to you. So if you're not comfortable, I'm like, look, your money spends.
Green.
Like it can, I don't have to believe what you believe. Like, you're the customer. Like, that's it. Like, unless it's something that is harmful to somebody else or totally out of the question, then I don't care if you buy a 21 shaped liquor bottle holder that says happy birthday ho.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care.
Nobody judges Steve. He has an OnlyFans page, the Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Every time we have, I tell you what, it's like the ladies go crazy over Steve. I don't know what it is. Roger and I are ugly.
Yeah.
I guess Roger and I are ugly, but the ladies seem to go crazy over Steve every single time.
I would say it's my pleasant personality, but that's definitely not true.
I was told I have a face only my mother could love, so we'll see, you know. I sell a ton of no soliciting signs, and my ex-wife has been pestering me to do earrings. I just don't think they would be a big seller.
Oh,
so
earrings.
So what do you think? What do you think about? So there was a comment earlier above that when you're doing these types of shows, do you have to create a ton of blanks, or is that something that is small enough that you could create on the fly?
So I typically make finished product to take. Which up until this past probably 6 months, I didn't take a laser with me to shows. So I am revamping that, where I am going to take customizable like Christmas ornaments, things that I can add names to, family names, simple things to, and have a bunch of blanks to take with me. As far as earrings and things, I don't do blanks at all. I take finished product. It is what it is. That's what's there.
So, okay. So then here's another question for you then. Without getting too personal in your business, what's a blank cost earrings typically?
Most of the time I use my scraps, so you're probably looking at pennies. I mean, to be honest with you, like even with the hardware.
And see if they sell, right? And
yeah.
if you blow them out, you kick yourself in the ass.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Ready? Like the profit margin on them is so large, because if you make a wood earring blank and you paint it, and even if you seal it with some clear coat of some sorts and you put the earring hardware on there, you can sell that pair of earrings for $30. It cost you the scraps you were going to put in the burn pile.
Yep.
I mean, that is like almost pure profit. It's kind of like, to me, it's almost ignorant if you're going to have this type of business, unless you specifically have that niche. But if you're trying to sell product, period, earrings should be on that list.
There you go. Answer your question.
That's what you do with the smallest scraps.
Yeah, take your scraps, make them, and if they didn't sell, you would have thrown them in the burn pile anyways, right?
And they don't even have to be dangle earrings. Stud earrings sell really well for me.
Nice. Oh, kind of like the plug look, like yeah,
you just cut a circle out and throw some paint on it. Or if you got a acrylic scraps that's a patterned acrylic, just cut a circle out, stick a stud on the back of it, and call it a day. You got a pair of stud earrings, I sell them at $10 a pop. Nice.
All right, Steve, I want to see you wearing a pair next week.
I like the dangly kind, actually.
My sister owns in Illinois, she owns a catering business and a banquet hall, and she just had a drag show. Like, I don't even know what they're called, and I don't offend anyone by saying it the wrong way, but yeah, it was crazy with some of the jewelry they were wearing. I was thinking,
I will be honest with you, I get a lot of customers from that aspect of life. They like the glamorous, they like. And you got so many different people. You've got your simplistic, elegant people who like very simple designs. And then you've got people who's way off on left spectrum over here and want earrings that hang down to their shoulders. And they wear them.
Yeah.
I mean, he said, wow, I'm going to be rich. I got lots of scraps.
I just said last week that I was going to literally make a video, show my scraps and say, what should I make with this? And then make a second video and make all a bunch of stuff. So we all have that pile, right? Like, it's too good to throw away. We're talking about messy shops here, you know. Here's my box, right?
Oh, that's small compared to what I've got.
I got another one behind the curtain, but That's the one I want to make in the video. What I went through, you know. But
So and I'll be honest with you, like my husband yells at me because I finally will get so many scraps that I finally just go out there and throw them in the burn pit because I'm just like, I'm done. I need space. But make keychains for your business.
you'd have to subscribe to his other channel.
But take your scraps and make keychains to hand out at events or anything. Like just throw your logo on a wooden keychain. It's that simple, you know.
Prince, Albert. We have a little fun on this channel. We're all.
I'm gonna add a new member tier to my YouTube channel. It's about $1,000 a month.
You know what's so hilarious though is that I don't even know how I jokingly said that one day.
You started that, man.
Yeah, I jokingly said that one day.
It forced me to actually have to go and create an OnlyFans page.
Yeah, but people were legitimately asking, like, well, what is it? I'm like, you're a dude.
What a bunch of perverts.
No judging.
There, Steven knows about drag shows. There you
go. But yeah, but the only thing I said to my sister is that you know, we're Christian. You know, I say this, and every single one of my videos at the end, I say God bless, and I say a prayer at the end. When you'll see scriptures at the end of my videos, but you know, it's not a Baptist sermon. But I said to my sister, be careful, because some people may not want to do business with you if you're publicizing that type of business. So that's the only thing I would say too. Like, and I'm not trying to get down that road. We don't talk normally that type of stuff in politics because we're trying to stay away. Those are like two topics to get people stirring off. Is that if you go down that road publicly and you start posting these things publicly, you could turn off certain customers because they're stern in their ways. And if you make this type of product, you know, they won't do business with you. But,
so I will only do things like that as custom orders. I don't post them. I don't put them because my political beliefs has nothing to do with my business. And I agree with you that I don't know if you guys recently seen the whole sticker mule email. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It sounds familiar.
So Sticker Mule, I usually buy quite a bit of things from them, and I will continue to buy from them, although I think they committed business suicide recently. They sent out an email, very politically based, very opinionated, to their customers.
Yikes.
Yeah, not good.
And it's business suicide.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. Like, personally, I didn't care who you wanted to vote for.
Right.
Didn't matter to me. But now that you've put it out there for everybody to see and rub it in everybody's face, you just lost I don't know how many people.
Well, half your customers, right?
Yeah, and minimal.
Yeah. You know, and, I would say we live in a great country that you have the option to choose, you know, and I respect everyone's opinion. You know, and sometimes neither choice is the greatest solution. It's just the only choice we have. That's all I'm going to say.
You gotta pick the best of the two evils. I mean,
right. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Without getting too political, I don't think anyone who wants to run a country should ever be allowed to. It doesn't matter what your party is.
Right? If they want to do it, there's some kind of background there.
And Roger's still too scared to run for presidency, so we're still waiting. We'll see. You know, I honestly think, like, seriously, if there was just like an average Joe, he might win. Who knows?
I agree.
I think that all politicians start out with good intentions, right? And whether they're good or bad, then eventually they get the lobby money, the lobbyists, and they get persuaded to do certain things. Or I think too that presidents don't realize how much power they don't have at all. They get in president, they're like, I was going to make this law and that law. Like, it don't work that way. Let's go to vote.
Hey, there's a marketing idea.
Yeah. Well, so the more important aspect of this comment is you take your earrings to a drag show and show them what you have, and they go, well, you know what I'd really like? I'd like this. And you go, okay, well, that's 10 times the price of one of these. I'll make those for you, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So how did you do that, Roger? You did that acrylic sublimation, right? That was you that did that, right?
No, I haven't sublimated onto acrylic.
Oh, so you did sublimation glass.
glass. Yeah.
I've done it. I've sublimated on the glass. I've done quite a bit of that. It's a real popular thing to do with photographs.
So if you did some type of vinyl that you could sublimate on, then cut the acrylic to anything you wanted, that could be pretty cool.
The problem with sublimation on the vinyl is over time it will bleed.
I think that they'd have to be, kind of conscientious that what they're buying isn't K jewelry, right?
No.
Right? I mean, it's not $250. It's $8, $30 per, right? But if they wanted some crazy patterns or colors, I think that'd be one way of achieving it. I'm gonna hang out with the
use sublimation quite often on wood.
And sift through his scraps. Watch out, Clack! You're about to get robbed. He's an ex-cop. I'm pretty sure that boy's got a lot of guns.
I think he's still a current cop. So.
Oh, there you go. He's still a current. Yeah, that might not be the house.
Did you say he had 14 months left?
Yeah. Might not be the house you want to break into. He always. We keep saying we've got to have him on our live, but what's hilarious is that every now and then he'll get brought up in the feed, right? We don't even realize he's always on our lives at every single time.
He lurks.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is. You see, we'd say bad things about him, but he listens.
So, Clack, I have the. Let me grab it. I'll give you credit because you inspired me to buy these. I've been watching them.
What are these things?
Oh, those meta glasses.
Yeah. So.
Oh yes. Okay.
So I wanted them, and I just found out that LensCrafters sends out their text messages at 8:02 p.m. But that doesn't mean they didn't get them at 7:30 a.m. Just it's an automated service every day at 8:02 p.m. It sends out the text message. So I technically could have picked them up before I left to New York and this long country, across the road country trip, and this is why I bought them. And I'm getting when I came back. But I'll be doing an unboxing video and trying these out. You see how they work, but he seems to be using them.
Yeah, Clack uses his.
Come by, I burn tons a week. He's still a cop.
There you go.
I'm always working y'all on speakers. Yeah. So yeah. Very cool, very cool. This is cool. I thank you for yes, they are Ray-Bans.
Oops, sorry.
Let me show you. They're called wafers.
And how many hundreds of dollars are they?
Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you have prescription sunglasses, right, then you more than likely have some type of coverage through your insurance. So these were $800 with the prescription lenses, with the transitions. So these are transitions as well. If I was to step outside, these go pitch black. So after my insurance, there were $300. So that's with my eye exam, the whole 9 yards. So, I retired 9 years after going 30 years police officer. Nice. So, yeah. So I think obviously if they're not prescription, they're a lot cheaper, but if prescription, the biggest difference is the actual lenses themselves. Even though you may buy them from LensCrafter or some type of seller, the actual lenses are not LensCrafter lenses. They're actually made by Ray-Ban. So they're kind of like drop shipping it to you. My wife just paid $500 for her pair of normal glasses. So there you go. So she paid $500 out of pocket for just sunglasses. And I made them prescription because my insurance covered some of it. I paid $300.
Can't you just go to like Zenny Optical and buy glasses for $20?
Yeah, so I think the whole reason people want them is obviously you can record. They have a microphone, they have a speakerphone. But I can be looking at something and say, hey, Meta, create the title or a title description for this video based on what I'm doing. I can look at a building and I can say, hey, Meta, tell me the history on this building. Hey, Meta, I'm looking at it.
Are you allowed to wear those while you drive?
What's that?
You're not allowed to wear those while you drive, I assume.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think you'd be allowed to wear them here. They'd be considered a distraction.
Yeah. So you can't see anything on the lenses. So they're no different than a known pair of glasses.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't think
the
that it is considered a. It would be considered just like a Bluetooth device.
Yep.
Yeah, although here you can't even talk on a cell. Like you can't touch a cell phone here while you're driving.
Yeah. Well, we're not supposed to either. We all just do it.
Well, I will say one thing about the local police around here is if they see somebody on a cell phone or texting, they will get pulled over. I mean, just like right now,
Yeah.
they really
Oh.
crack down on that around here.
Here you'd
Yeah.
be getting at least a $250 fine for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Classified from
There you go.
a qualified, bona fide opinion. They're classified as hands-free devices, making the phone more legal. It's technically European
So if you're
hands-free.
down in Clanton with them, he's not going to arrest you.
At least for the glasses. At least for the glasses.
But if you're down there, you can stop in and pick some scraps up.
Money makers.
Yeah. Hey, so yeah, thank you for joining us live with us. It's cool. And like I said, it's the whole idea of these lives is collectively have a different, not always the same opinion. It could be a differences of opinion.
Absolutely.
Because and to give different also people different points of view.
Yeah,
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can watch you weave how your life.
Oh,
so that's why I like transitions.
He's quoting the famous Corey Hart.
Yeah.
Good Canadian.
That's why I like.
You can have them if you want, but
yeah, that's why I like transitions. So these are crystal clear, but when I step outside, they're solid black, and that's why I had these ones made as well.
Mine are the same way. I've got transition lenses, and they're no line trifocals, so they were pretty expensive, but I got good insurance.
Yep. Thank you, IBW. They also have blue light filter for keyboard bangers. There you go. So those people that are like this and talking smack about one of our channels,
I do a whole lot less typing than I used to.
Yeah. Because I always just picture that person who's like writing the troll. He's got to be typing like this, right?
That's how I used to type. 38 years writing software. I never learned to be a touch typist.
You are so welcome.
Yes, it's good to have you.
So like I tell everybody all the time, there's plenty of space out there. We're all creators, but we all create differently. And there's so much space out there available for us. And I think that was my biggest pet peeve joining the community is I would say 90% of the community is very welcoming, helping. And then you have that other 10% that are very territorial. And I tell everybody I let those weed themselves out. And I just do me. Like if you are too focused on what somebody else is doing, you aren't doing what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was my pet peeve. I would ticket everyone I caught with the cell phone. My partner nickname was Poison Pen. Yeah. So stay off your phone. But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's definitely different. I said when I started posting on woodworking groups, anything to do with lasers, man, it was like,
that's not woodworking.
I got banned.
There's the purists. Yeah,
I got banned. I got reported to Facebook. I'm like, how are you reporting me to Facebook? Like, what did I? It was a laser video. It's like it was pornographic. It was brutal.
You are in fact working with wood.
Yeah, so we say this over and over again. I can't remember how many times we say it. People say using a laser is not woodworking, and I say okay, but using a laser can take your woodworking skills to another level, right? Yeah. Daniel was live the other day, and he made dovetails, and he was struggling and making it. And no, I'm not bashing him, but I said, bro, you just got this new badass laser. Why don't you just cut it out in 5 seconds? Why are you doing all that? You have a router table, like why don't you pull your router table? Burn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull this guy out, you know what I mean?
Because he's inspired by Roy Underhill, the woodwright shop guy.
But
if the tool was made it wasn't made in the 19th century, it's not a good tool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make some dovetails just to say that, just to kind of burn the woodworkers and be creative. Like I might do some like hearts.
Well, yeah, where you can really hurt traditional woodworkers is with wooden inlay. I've done a couple of videos on that, and every once in a while I'll get some granted, somebody who's actually got inlay skills, who spent probably 15 years learning how to do it, and you go, well, I took 10 minutes and I did this with a laser, right?
Right.
And it's I get the pain, right? But at the same time, it's like I don't have that skill, and I could spend 10 years and I would never have that skill.
Right. So it's okay
my
to
laser does, right?
It's okay to respect their skill set, but it's not everyone's cup of tea, right? And there's always more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. The other thing I did was I took on a CNC, I took 2 pieces of wood and I carved like puzzle pieces out of them and pressed them together into a cutting board.
Nice.
So it looks like a puzzle piece. I mean, woodworkers tend to glue things together in straight lines, right? And this thing is very, like, it's got the little ball on the end of a puzzle piece. It's got those.
What I've never seen anyone do, other Steve, is those pressed holders for the cutting boards. I thought that was just sharp.
Oh, those ones, yeah. Well, again, happy accident, right? I screwed up, and that was the solution. And it turned out everybody wants them now.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone do that.
I did a video with doing a little bird inlay on the front of a birdhouse and CNC cut, and I had some negative comments on that about not being real woodworking and you're cheating. You need to learn how to do real inlays. And
why?
Yeah.
Why do I have to take a week to do something I can do in 10 minutes with a laser?
Yeah, nothing beats hand cut dovetails. So what I would say is that if you're skilled at it, but I don't want this.
Yeah.
If it looks like crap, go somewhere else. I had to do it by hand. It looks like crap. Now, if it looks like amazing, and you're like, hey, I don't need a machine. I'm skilled enough to do it by hand.
But you see, I know people who do a lot of hand woodworking, and they would normally make something that's perfect, but they purposely leave a mistake in it so it was made by hand. It's like why? Why would you do that?
This is 100%. What are jigs used on a router table for? Then what's the difference with a laser? Come on.
And I mean, if you look at something like the new Vectric V-Carve or Aspire, the new version of it has built-in inlay definition, so you can basically you design one side, either the plug or the socket, and it designs the other side for you automatically, and you can cut both sides. And it's like, this is such a time saver. Like, why on earth would you not think that's woodworking?
So there's limitations with machine plus setup time, etc. But one-off hand job tools are usually quicker. That's why I'm saying a laser is quicker. Because I get it when you're using a router.
So next week I'll bring the this puzzle piece cutting board. I made a sample one, and I would defy anyone to make that faster by hand.
Yeah,
even with machine setup.
And if you bought a dovetail jig, they're expensive actually. The metal ones, they're not cheap.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
And the thing is, it's such a single purpose tool, right? It can only make those.
Right.
And some people will say, well, a laser is a single purpose tool. It can only engrave. Yeah, but it can engrave everything, right?
Right. Yep. So I want to try to make dovetails, hearts. Little hearts.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen them. I've seen people make them.
Yeah. So I want to do that and put that. But the point is, when I put it together, I'm going to put a flashlight and be like, can you see my light? I want to show that they fit tightly. Short gang will crumble away if those handles are too close to the edge, Steve.
Well, yes. So the trick is, don't make them too close to the edge.
Bump.
Well, and they're epoxied in too, right? Like they're fairly tight to start with, but put a little epoxy in them, they're not going to break you.
Here you go.
Bruh. There you go. There's the best advice of the evening.
Right?
Do it your own way, and who cares what anyone else thinks?
Yes. But I would just say that early on, posting laser engraving videos in woodworking groups, because I was originally in woodworking groups making woodworking things, and then acquired laser tools. it comes with DeWalt. If DeWalt makes it, I own it. I can make a bold statement like that. I pretty much own damn near every DeWalt tool there is you can buy. So I like making woodworking things. But then when I wanted a laser, I wanted a CNC, but I didn't have those things, and now I do. But when I was taking that same thing and that would make something and put it on the woodworking, I just got attacked.
And this is another good piece of advice. It'll teach you, the limitations of wood, right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes you learn the hard way. I've learned the hard way a couple of times with cutting boards, where you have two pieces of wood with different expansion coefficients, and eventually it just tears itself apart, right? That's a painful lesson, but you learn.
So you can cut a 2x4 with a laser. I'm pretty sure you can cut a dovetail in anything.
Yeah, where you'll struggle potentially is just the accuracy of the dovetail with a laser.
Right, but I don't think it's going to be any different than you doing this. But a coping saw.
Well, if you're doing it with a coping saw, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
But if you're using a dovetail jig, it's
no.
going to be pretty accurate.
You use dovetail jig on a router table, yeah, pretty efficient. But what I'm saying is, if you're using a coping saw and you're using a chisel, then a laser should blast it out the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You can use a CNC too. Now, the irony of a CNC is you couldn't make those inside sharp edges on a dovetail, so you'd make a different kind of dovetail.
Right.
But you'd still make one, and it would be probably the most accurate dovetail you've ever made, right? Because you're accurate to within like fractions of a millimeter, like a tenth of a millimeter or less.
Yeah. So, Roger, what has been your experience with making dovetails?
I've got a Porter cable dovetail jig that I know how to hand cut dovetails too. I learned that a long time ago, but the dovetail jig makes it so much faster. I've never tried to do them on laser. I've just never bothered with it. I did do some sample ones on a 3018 CNC, but I didn't do the conventional dovetails. I did the ones that are kind of heart shape, because I don't have to worry about having square corners.
Nice.
Can't do a square corner on a CNC, not an inside corner.
So you did heart-shaped dovetails, pretty much what I'm saying?
You could do your heart-shaped dovetails.
Cool, very cool.
They wouldn't be like the part at the top, the point wouldn't be sharp, right? But
right.
see, Oz Workshop, he's close to a purist. He's going to make awesome dovetails, and he's going to hate yours. I know he'll hate mine.
All right, challenge accepted. Let's see your dovetail. And like I said, to each his own. But the point of the comment was that if you have the skill set to be able to do that, that's fine. But to me, the whole point of a dovetail has to be tight. And if it's not tight,
yeah. And I mean, the point of tools like CNCs and lasers is to take people who aren't necessarily craftsmen and allow them to do the same things, right?
Yeah.
Like I have, as I've said numerous times on my channel, I have no artistic ability, but those tools help me pretend to be an artist, right? And
so when you
I'm
say
okay
pins,
with that.
When you say pins, are you meaning plugs?
No, pins. Like if you're pinning. So this is the pins are the solution to gluing two pieces of different wood together, right? You drill a hole through it and you put a pin through it.
Right, like a plug,
And,
like literally like a wooden nail type. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a dowel, basically.
Yeah, dowel rod, and you just cut it flush. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting hot under the collar.
Don't get hot under the collar. Just show it your
He's getting ready to do one of these.
I appreciate dovetails even when they're made by hand. Probably more so actually, because it's not that I appreciate the dovetail, I appreciate the person who can do it.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it.
I can't understand how you'd cut pins on a laser.
Oh well, yeah, you can't. You can cut the hole that the pin goes into.
Well, if you cut the hole, then
you could actually cut the pin, I guess.
Yeah, you could cut the
pin. Get your rotary out.
Yeah.
Get your rotary out, chuck up a piece of wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I would make a pin on my CNC, the fourth axis on my CNC.
Now I know what he's talking about. Yeah, the dovetail's one side, the pin is the other side.
Oh, yes.
The dovetail fits into. And yeah, laser will cut that. done in plywood.
Yeah. So my whole experience with this router table was because I think we've talked about this before. My house was built in 1865, and I was trying to reproduce trim without having a cove, right? Spending $300 because I was only doing a couple windows at a time. So 4 router bits later, and extensions, I made them a John Adam casing. So if anyone has a John Adam casing code, let me know. Maybe I'll give you some business. But yeah, President John Adams created his own trim. Became very popular in Illinois in the 1800s. Kind of funny. But yeah, no, this is cool. See, this is the whole point of it. Lasers, woodworking, fine line. People get very aggressive. Very protective. But different opinions, and it's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, it's with good reason, right? Like the dovetail comment, right? I totally get and respect somebody who can make a good dovetail. I've tried numerous times by hand; they're crap, and it's not a case of learning. I know how to do it. I just don't do it well.
Right. Yeah, well, there you go. I struck a nerve. Won't be the first time, and it won't be the
How
last.
dare you?
I'll give
Way
my
to
wife
go,
email if you
Rick.
want. You can send her hate mail and say it too.
Well, I've never tried to cut dovetails or pins on any kind of hardwood that thick with a laser. I've got a dovetail jig that'll do it just perfect.
Yeah,
And
19, you're pushing it with certainly with a diode laser, and a CO2 laser wouldn't cut that thick anyway.
Now these 60-watt lasers, man, they're getting pretty.
Well, like the
60
IKEA one is 70, right? Like it's, but it's, I don't know. I kind of wish the diode laser companies would stop trying to keep up with CO2 lasers.
So
Yes.
the Iker, you saw that 70-watt, they had like a side-by-side comparison to a CO2, and it was like showing what they're able to do. It was like, and then they're showing the footprint of a 70-watt or a 90-watt or a 100-watt CO2. Like basically, like the footprint is huge.
Oh yeah. Well, the beam size of a CO2 is much bigger too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, diode lasers are fantastic at 20 watts, right? They're really good at engraving.
See, if Daniel was on tonight's live, we'd have a real heated debate.
yeah,
I have a 40-watt diode Creality Falcon 2 Pro.
Yeah.
And it's a great machine. Again, I don't utilize it as often. It is comparable in a lot of factors to my Glowforge. But I mean, the only thing that I wanted the diode because I did not have one, and I wanted to learn that side of it because it's a more affordable laser for people starting out. So for me to be able to help others in the community and build my group, I needed to have that knowledge. So Creality gave me the 40-watt Falcon 2 Pro to work with, and so far, I mean, I like it. It's not as user-friendly as, say, an X-Tool.
Yeah, it's not my favorite laser, but it's it's a tool. It does the job.
It does, and it's affordable. I mean, the price point's way below.
But when you look at a diode laser versus a CO2 laser, diode lasers can, like a 60-watt diode laser, can cut through really thick material, much thicker than a CO2 laser can do, at least under 100 watts.
Yes.
Like I have a 90-watt CO2 laser, and it can't cut nearly as thick a material as a 60-watt diode laser, and it's because the diode laser has like infinite focus, right? So it's not truly infinite, but it's got a very, very long focus, so there's a lot of space where the beam is usable, whereas the CO2 laser tends to be much more conical and short focus. So there's a place for diode lasers for cutting thick things,
Yep.
and you know, you've
Since
got to
you
have
said
one.
that about the beam of the CO2 laser, I tell people like the biggest difference, like you were saying, between the diode is the diode has almost like a straight source coming down from the laser, whereas the
Yeah.
CO2 has more of an hourglass. And if you're not in the center of that hourglass, you're not getting the most efficient laser beam.
Yeah,
Right.
and I mean, where you could see it is, you know, get into a really unsafe experiment and shoot a diode laser and a CO2 laser 10 feet across a room and see which one has the bigger spot on the other side, right? And the diode laser will be not a whole lot bigger than it is. It'll be bigger, but a CO2 laser will be almost gone at that point, right?
Yes, you won't even, yeah.
But we also talked about kerf. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, well, this is what drives all of that, right? Is the focus and how big that area is.
So do you want to explain what that? I just kind of threw that out there, but I know
The
we talked
kerf,
about this before.
what kerf is?
Yeah.
It's just it's basically the thickness of the cut, right? The gap. It's like a saw. When you pass a saw through a piece of wood and you cut, the saw blade takes up space as it's going through. So do lasers, and it's that space that is the kerf. Now you can do, this is one thing you can do with lasers that you can't do with a saw, right? Without a lot of math, is you can do kerf compensation. So Lightburn will do that for you automatically.
So we get asked the question, almost one of the number one questions is, what laser should I buy, right? And we always say that a good entry level laser is always a diode laser because it's probably the most affordable, right? And then how many watts should I buy? And we say at least 20 watt. Is that collectively we're all kind of agreeing on that, you know?
Yeah, 20 to 30 is kind of the sweet spot as far as I'm concerned.
I said at least a 20 watt. Anything, I wouldn't purchase.
Well, the problem is when you go to 40, you can, if your primary use case is cutting, fine, get a 40. But if you want to do any engraving, like there's a reason a Creality 40 watt laser comes with a 1.6 watt diode laser module, right? Like you go 1.6, I can hold my hand under it. Well, no, you can't, but it's such a small beam. It's 0.06 or something, or 0.04. It's really tiny, perfect for engraving.
I wanted to point out too the last comment that Brett had about the lens and the focal lengths. That does make a huge difference on CO2 lasers. There are different lenses creating longer focal lengths. So
yes, yeah, you can put a 5-inch lens in a CO2 laser, but you're still not going to get to that point where it's going to cut as well as a diode.
No, it's
not watt for watt anyway.
Yeah, very cool.
I think you have some work to do this week, Rick. Is you have to show Oz Workshop next week some dovetails that you cut with your laser.
Yeah, I will. I want to attempt that. And I'm you know what? I don't even know what I would use it for at this point, but I want to try it.
Just take 2 pieces of wood and make a 90-degree angle out of them.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that what I would actually implement that into something that I would sell, but I just think it would be cool.
Well, I mean, what about your lanterns? Could you not do it with your lanterns?
No, not dovetails. No, there's no way I would spend any kind of time doing dovetails for lanterns. That's too much time. To me, a lantern is a hook it and book it type of project, right? So right. a memorial thing where someone is spending a little more money.
Maybe like a flag case or something.
Yeah, it's got to be something that has.
It's generally a box of some sort, right? Or you're making drawers.
Right. But what I'm saying, I'm not gonna do it on lanterns. If someone wants to buy it for $35, like that is not worth my time. You know what I mean? But,
make an urn to put somebody's ashes in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, they tend to be fairly fancy.
So you guys know my niche is memorial. So if you gotta think of anything cool that I can use those dovetails, let me know. We'll do something cool. But yeah, it looks like we're 1 minute to about out of time. But I think this live was cool. We had a lot of different discussions about Xtool software versus Lightburn, and I think that's going to be a continued heated debate. Late at the end of this week, kind of touched on the whole dovetails as history repeats itself, woodworking versus laser engraving, and are they one or the other a source? So definitely some. Oh, look who just jumped in.
Yeah, the dovetail expert.
Oops.
Oh,
I'll say it's about time.
Yeah.
hey everyone, missed y'all. I've been absolutely slammed building houses, which is blessing, but also exhausting. Just want to say hi and live tonight.
You missed
You
a
know,
good
and
night, Viking.
Yep. Thanks for dropping in, brother. Appreciate it. You know, and I kind of did mention that.
It's good to know you're still alive.
Yeah, 4th of July. I mentioned that. You kind of keep in mind. Daniel is in the trades of building houses, and there's a time that the season starts to slow down. So when the money's there, you got to bang, 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 bang. All you can.
We won't be able to get rid of him in the wintertime. He'll be all.
You couldn't shake the flea off the dog if you wanted to, right?
Inventory.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how's it going? There you go.
Another YouTuber.
Yep. That's the Clack Shack's right hand man, right?
Yeah, you should join us some night.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. But yeah, appreciate you guys dropping in, everyone. Oh, look at this!
Oh man,
Daniel saved me. All right, came and left the last.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the rest of this video, Daniel, to find out why Oz Woodshop is so uptight with us tonight.
Hey, Daniel, I have to correct you, brother. There's no I in team. This is not my live. This is our live. I will admit I started it, but it has grown with us. I would say that. Daniel, it would have been a perfect night for I started that argument at the end. Yeah, here we go. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. We looks like this is gonna take off. We could probably extend another
he's been
hour.
watching. Okay.
We could probably extend another hour if we let this let this fire stoke. But yeah, thank you guys everyone for joining. It was a good time. Good conversations. Thank you for the laser check for joining us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If you guys have not already subscribed to our channel, check her out, please do. And we may invite you at another time. We're actually going to be doing these. We introduce something new. We're doing a random person who's our audience that we're allowed to join our live, and we're going to start bringing in guest hosts. I know you run a business, you may not always be available, but
I have no cool toys.
He's talking about your other channel. But
Oh, no, well, yeah, okay. There are some cool toys.
So if you don't have thick skin, you probably won't like our channels. We all kind of bust jokes on each other in good time. Maybe a few beers involved at the same time, but thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you guys. God bless. You guys want to close out?
Kudos from Daniel, Mickey.
Oh.
The main.
Shots are fired. They're coming in right at the end.
Oh, there. He's talking about Vintori.
Yep.
Good.
All right, guys. You guys want to
he has many more cool toys than I have.
You guys want to say anything before you drop off?
It was fun.
You want to do a stuff with plug?
Well, for next week, for me, I'll be trying to do this from Mexico. So
live from Mexico.
How that works.
Well, hopefully you can get a reliable connection.
Hopefully.
All right.
Yep. Thank you guys for joining.
Okay. See you all next week.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the invite, you guys.
Yeah. No problem. Thanks.